Greetings, this is Reverend Stephanie Neal. We are on chapter 27 within the House of Ancestors and Spirits, and I'm calling this lesson Laughing Spirits. My first spirit session was at the age of 12. The spirits flew in laughing. I felt like I had just walked through a place filled with happy beings experiencing incredible bliss. Once I passed through this sliver of space, I turned around and walked through it again. Yet this time, I tried to move through this place slowly so I could pick up something, anything. I stopped and instinctively started shooting questions that I did not understand at the time. Like a flare gun shooting across the bay, the questions began. What is this? Who are all of you? Why am I experiencing this? What do I do with this information? How long will it take to meet all of my ancestors? Why am I asking about my ancestors? The voices laughed, responding forever. When will this work begin? A single clear voice laughed again, saying, "You have already begun." Then, can I assume I am already speaking to one of my lives that have died? The voice said, "Your earth suit transitions in every earth life. You live here forever inside one." I asked, "What is here?" And I did not receive a response at that time. So since I was Catholic at the time, I immediately walked to the church and shared my experience with a priest and said, "Well, does this mean I am being called to become a nun and devote myself to the service of the church?" The sweet priest laughed and said, "No, you do not need to become a nun to serve the church. But if you are still interested, come back in a few years and we will talk again." I enjoyed speaking to the priest. Sorry, I do not remember his name. From that day, I devoured metaphysical books as if they were water. This is the time I met the two root women who taught me how to work with water and meditation. And the first day I entered college, I lived in the library, reading all I could in my free time about reality. I did return to the church when I turned 18 years of age, where I met with a nun, and she said, "Follow your heart." Then I was compelled to walk along the white beach of Waikiki, feeling even closer to deity than I ever had before, and just had a strong knowing that spiritualism will be found everywhere, inside and outside the standard churches. in the metaphysical groups, the Reiki groups, the animals, and every voice that rides across the trade winds. From that day forward, Source lovingly reminding me we are all ready to work with Spirit on both sides of the veil. If this is our desire, and it was my desire, so I laughed with the ancestors. After this experience, I felt good after communicating with spirits. I instinctively knew then all of them were always with me, and I was beginning to realize that I was remembering precepts through my own past lives and loving guides. Most of my spirit communications are through journeying, and I feel joy every time. And through time, more spirits joined. Everyone is capable of communing with spirits. Only motive and focus will bring you deeper into these waters or push you to its surface. Both have a place in the universe. All beings are ready to communicate to all beings inside joy. So this is one way how we learn to work with spirits, by working with all ourselves that died long ago, our ancestors, and spirits that enjoy working with us. Mediumship, general development. It is always difficult to say, this is what you do first, due to everyone's journey is a little different, and your mediumship journey can start essentially at any point or have already begun. Yet for this purpose, I shall select one approach among many. So two types of mediums and channelers are those who work with spirits unconsciously or spontaneously versus consciously. I only teach fully conscious channeling for obvious reasons, because you obviously can do unconsciously and spontaneous channeling or working with spirits on your own. So in preparing for mediumship, it is good to routinely work with your chakras and their personifications. Personifications take their form that will relate to you. They are different energies that are inside each chakra. So to be more comfortable to your sensibilities, they take a form where humans can relate. When I say work with your chakras, this means opening them, checking to see their health, healing them if they need healing, strengthening them if they need strengthening, journeying with chakras. You are receiving spiritual information through them, meditating and practicing all your psychic skills through chakras. Are there any blockages? You can dream with them or dreaming with them, as well, sensing with them as you move through your day. And I'm sure there's still a longer list than this, but that's a good start. So just by using chakras keeps keeps them within your awareness, causes them to be healthy. People see them differently. Some see chakras as little doors or spinning wheels, or beautiful lotus flowers opening and closing. Yet know they are within you to help you through this reality plane, each having its own purposes, helping you to become a forever evolving being, or to restate that, to have you recognize you are already a forever evolving being, a being that is fully aware and remembering why you are here. Though you are in more than one place right now, but you think you are just here because your focus is here in this system. Remember, you are living in many systems right now and living many lives right now. And now is all we know and have. Meeting and developing a relationship with your spirit guides and spending meaningful time with them every day is crucial. And we've already covered that in other chapters. It is easy to meet them, just to request to have them come forward, of course with an open heart. Ask them their names, one at a time. Ask them to tell you about themselves. Everyone has a different amount of guides, but usually between 5 to 7 spirit guides are with us, or maybe just one guide steps forward. Ask them, how will you know when they want to convey something to you? How will you know when they are around? Some guides may make their presence known right away, while others will not. They see if you are truly interested in working with them, even though they are always interested in working with you. If you do not develop a relationship with them, they are still with you and will help. So sometimes that still small voice just might be one of your spirit guides. If you have the desire to become a medium, and it does take practice and experience, your guides will know and will confirm they are here to help if you want their help. Usually the gatekeeper interprets what the spirit is conveying. If you want the gatekeeper's help, at least in the beginning, if this is what you prefer. Appreciating the natural world around you helps psychically, helps you. Well, this is really a whole completely approach to mediumship, that you're attuned to, well, nature and listening to the trees' voices and the mountains' voices. Basically allowing every natural thing to speak and allowing everything to reveal its force of nature. Be open to all of nature through all of your senses. It is also nice to do a simple daily manifestation exercise just to keep your intentions clear and purposeful. Then begin paying more attention to your dreams, because you can pick up spirits not just in message circles or in meditations. You can pick up spirits within dreams. I think everyone already knows that, because everyone, well, I guess most individuals have experienced meeting a relative inside of a dream. In fact, especially when you're just beginning, sometimes it's easier to get through to you through a dream. And the spirit comes through in several ways. There's the paranormal investigation in general terms, where folks enjoy hunting for random spirits, ambient spirits just passing by through using many types of devices or using nothing, where spirits reveal themselves through symbols, which are text or automatic writing, the spoken word or pictures. A movie screen can be utilized, or books, or the Ouija board fall under the category of text, of course. Music sometimes called audio magic. You can pick up spirits. Aroma, all of a sudden you begin to smell roses or lilies or a favorite flower in your grandmother's garden. And then it dawns on you that your grandmother desires to spend a little time with you. Then the spirits can come through, of course, your meditations and through a believing group. So in other words, that you surround yourself in a message circle, and hopefully everybody within the message circle is indeed a believer in conveying messages and receiving messages with spirits. So just all that belief is a good energy that draws a good experience. And the spirit can communicate directly with the medium using nothing, which is usually my preference. I guess as a world walker, that as world walkers, we mostly directly journey to the place we desire to go to talk to a specific spirit of the place or within the place. A spirit guide is allowed to vet and interpret what is conveyed by the spirit stepping forward. But once again, that's a choice that you make. A chakra personification can vet and interpret what is being revealed also. The spirit can step forward utilizing more than one method, and sometimes that's called unfolding. And then the spirit can communicate beautiful information through dance or movement. So working with spirits, identifying and deciding who comes through. And ultimately it is your choice who you want to come through. And so a list of the different types of spirits without being really specific is, well, the general spirits passing through, ancestors, just under the title of ancestors. That's a very long list of types of spirits right there. Then there's spirit guides, and spirits can come through seance also. But that's really a message circle. Spirits can come through chakra personifications, and spirits can well wear the clothing of a goddess, the energies of a goddess. So maybe your favorite goddess comes forward and speaks to you. That's just as bona fide and valued as any other spirit. And of course, gods. Then animals. Animals many times are neglected in that people just don't naturally think about, now wait a minute, animals also have a soul. They also are here within this reality system. to become part of the solution, just like we are. So they have communications as well. And of course, because as pagans, that we are open to this idea. And then also think about sacred places to discover that, in fact, there is a spirit of every place anyway. Your past, present, and future pets can and do work with you. Then you, in a past life, which that's an ancestor of sorts, calling your future lives to step forward. You, in a present life, which all lives are present, that's a probable, then you can meet spirits stuck between this world and the next. And as world walkers, we are here to help them connect with their ancestors. Spirits that do not know they have left this system, and that usually happens when they have a sudden death. And this particular spirit is relatively easy to connect with their ancestors, and their ancestors takes over and gently explains to them, with all the love that they have poured over the new transitioned individual, and they pretty much take over. Spirits stuck in this world, this physical world, and there's many reasons that can happen. Maybe there's unfinished business, and as world walkers, this is where we basically sit them down in essence and gently work it out. And normally it is they that work out the situation. So I guess we're mostly listeners when this person is stuck. And entities that lived on this physical plane of all types, wind and fires and stones, everything. Entities that have not yet lived on this plane, energies of all planets, because maybe that's the reason why that particular entity is not on this particular Earth, because maybe this energy is on another Earth-like planet, or a planet that's completely different than Earth's atmosphere and energies. And so then, vetting a spirit, as to vetting a spirit coming through, there are just as many ways to do this as there are approaches to do anything. But essentially, I'm just going to just put this in a nutshell, that if you just sense it's a good, healthy communication that desires help, or maybe just wants to convey a message to a loved one. It's just a lot of just good psychic sensing. And of course you have your gatekeeper there, and of course you have source, goddess and God right there, as you're feeling that yes, this spirit I will now ask to step forward. And so yes, there could be many more steps within this, but that's just really the general important approach. And if you have that kind of approach and an open heart, the experience will come in its right timing. And that right timing is always selected with you and source. And so now I leave you with this. As you are flying, truly feel your being, your own knowing, and your own powerful abilities. Until next time, blessed be.